NHL best bets for Friday, January 2nd. It's 2026, guys. Welcome to PuckTime WagerTalk TV. We're going to talk about all kinds of games here, including the Winter Classic taking place in a not-so-cold place, being the Florida Panthers hosting the New York Rangers, all kinds of more games as well. Look forward to diving into it. Myself, Andrew McInnis, Carmine Bianco, and Lawrence Presman with us to break these down. Do not forget about the 6 and 60. Carmine gave you guys a special one on New Year's Eve, but we, of course, always have it with the Friday 6 and 60 looking ahead to Saturday. And Carmine will be joining me on the pre-scout edition for today, recorded, talking about every single game on the board for Saturday as well. So all kinds of good stuff to look forward to. Carm, good morning, man. How are you?
I'm sick, but yeah, I'm sick. And it's not because of the scores last night, although that made me even worse. We talk about Freaky Fridays. That was Freaky Thursday. 0-2 day for me in the NHL. And two very good goalies just got lit up in both those plays, regulation plays for me. But we'll move on. And I'll complain about that a little later on because we got to get the Prez in and out because he's got a show to film. And he's got to film it early. And then I'll do my complaining old man yelling at the clouds right after. Prez.
Happy New Year, everybody.
There you are.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
The boss.
I am here. I'm ready to give out a pick. I, too, had a bad day yesterday. I lost my 5% on Alabama. Holy crap, wasn't close. At least I got to turn it off early and move on. But yeah, my apologies to people who bought that play and lost with me. Oh man, it slays me. Anyway, we're doing the Rangers in Florida, a Winter Classic in the middle of the summer.
You know,
it's always summer in Florida, but that stadium and just the setup, I know it's just from the NHL. NHL.com's website, but I just don't like the setup of it. It just looks weird on a baseball field in that one there. Does that look normal to you? Like to me, I don't know if the sight lines for anyone in the stand.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Looks good. It just, that does not look good to me, but they brought in a bunch of generators. I
mean, you would honestly think that the world was like going through the biggest boom of all time. You know, between the drone show in China and turning a baseball stadium into a hockey rink for absolutely no reason. Why are they just throwing money around? Like,
well, they've done it.
How do I get my hands on some of this wasted crap?
They did it at Fenway Park. And look, let's not say that this would be happening if it wasn't for them being the back-to-back defending Stanley Cup champions. Like, I know that I guess I'm biased maybe just because I'm, not living in a hot place, I guess, but I'm not a Florida Panthers fan, but I believe the Winter Classic deserves to have snow falling. We should be seeing snow on the sides of the boards. We should be seeing people wearing winter coats and be a little bit cold. I understand the Florida Panthers and the Lightning, those guys have done so well, and there's a lot of snowbirds that are New York Ranger fans probably that will be at this game, but it just looks weird to me that this game is a Winter Classic and it's going to be a nice day outside. That I went to the Winter Classic at Gillette Stadium. I had to dress up like I was going skiing. Like that to me is what the Winter Classic is. So Prez, we'll get your breakdown here, brother. Do you, the ice looks fine. Do you treat this game any different because it is an outdoor game?
Yeah, I don't bet it. But you guys gave it to me, so I like the under in this game, and I'll tell you why. Yes, me and my unders. Look at this. David Turkasi writes, Prez, Winter Classics are history and tradition. Yeah, that's just not true, bro. They're like invented like 5 years ago. I mean, I don't know where you draw the line on history and tradition, but the Winter Classic is not it. Anyway, I like the under in this game, Carmen and Andrew. And the bottom line here is, firstly, the Rangers are a stone cold under team on the year. 14 and 27 to the under. 14 and 27 to the under. And it's because, well, they have good goaltending and they struggle to score. But the Florida Panthers are 22-17 to the over here. And I think that that's interesting moving forward because this Florida Panthers team is a team that wants to play to the under. That's their makeup. That's who they are. That's how they define themselves. And as we get closer and closer to the playoffs, and as Florida starts gearing up for another run, I think this team is going to lock it down. I think that's the cool term. Lock it down, lock it up, lock it in, something. I don't know. The kids say lock it something. So anyway, with that said, Florida is coming off 5 overs in a row. They went under in their last game against Montreal. What odds would dictate you go 5 overs in a row? You're going to have a regression to the means. They're playing a Rangers team that wants to play to the under. And yeah, I think the ice is going to be shitty and slow and slushy and crap, but it is tradition. So take the under.
Prez, one follow-up question for you, and this isn't like the normal Teddy Theodore covers follow-up, but in a game like this, like if this was being played in Florida's regular arena, it's a home game for them, and it is a home game for them today. But does it even feel like a home game? Because you're going to have fans from. It's pretty much going to be split right down the middle. I have to believe there might actually be more Ranger fans at this game than Florida fans. So
ultimately,
do you throw the whole? This is basically a neutral site game. There is no home team in this one, and maybe Florida shouldn't be the price that they're at right now.
No, because Florida lives with the LA Chargers in almost never playing home games, especially in December and January. The bottom line is, did you not see what went down in the Montreal game? That was a Montreal home game, happened to be in Florida. So this Florida Panthers team is used to it. Florida doesn't deserve that team, and that's okay. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'll say this. I do lean towards the Florida side just because I think that we can all agree, guys, that teams get up for some games more than others. You play 82 games. Some games mean more. And I do think there's a lot of gamers on this team. And to your point with the under, Prez, you think about players like Bennett and Marchand that kind of play that grimy style of hockey. I think they'll kind of fit in with this style. You know, if it's crappy ice out there, it's kind of like they're playing on a lake. They're all playing shinny. This kind of benefits them. It'll be physical. It'll be rough. And I think there's going to be a lot of crappy goals. Like some of the goals aren't going to be the nicest. And I think that benefits the Florida Panthers. So just my 2 cents. I kind of lean towards the home team in this one.
What do you got to promote? I know you got to get out of here.
Yeah, so Joe Ranieri and I are running a buy one, get one free promotion. It literally just came to me right now. I did ask for it before the show, and it has been delivered. It's $99, and you get a week of both Joe Ranieri and myself. There is no coupon code required. Literally just go to my page or Joe Ranieri's page. And to give you perspective, everybody knows how good I am in NHL. My NBA is unbelievable. Joe Ranieri is the second most profitable handicapper last year. And when I say last year, that's like 2 days ago last year, or two days ago last year. So yeah, comes with my 5% play, comes with his 5% play. So that is a really, really good deal. $99. You get a week of Joe and myself. No coupon code required. Thanks for having me, boys. I'll see you guys on Monday live from Florida. I'll have a background of a beautiful golf course. Can't wait. Lots of love, everyone. Let's all make some money together.
Adios, Prez. Take care.
Safe travels, man. Safe travels.
Ciao.
Andrew, David Talk mentioned last night, so many overs. 7-1. The first 7 games went over the total. The Seattle game, 4-1, stays under the total. Favorites were like 5-3. I was on the wrong end of 2 of those underdogs. And I think more of the home teams won than the visitors. So it was definitely a freaky Friday. You had mentioned, I got to give you credit. You were like, I think Thursday is a really good night to play the Grand Salami. Man, the Grand Salami probably cashed after about 5 games.
Yeah.
You probably didn't even need the other games. I just could not believe how many goals were being scored in the games. You know what I mean? And then, I had Carolina in regulation, and, they fall behind to Montreal 2-0 early, but then they scored 3 straight goals in the first period. They have the lead. All right, they're back to normal. And Brandon Boucher, who's been absolutely unbeatable at home, 8-0 this season with a 159 goals against average. He allows 6 goals, and there were some softies. Your buddy Slavkovsky beat him short side with a goal just coming in on the left side there. I'm like, how did that one get in? But he just found the hole and put it in. Hug the post, man. Hug the post.
That turnover by Ehlers, though, was really bad. It was like a serving up a pizza right up the middle of the ice to Josh Anderson, and that just can't happen. There were some strong quotes, too, that came out of the room. Jordan Stahl said, I don't know how many times Rod can say the same thing in the room. We're trying to echo the messages. Because, Carm, if the Hurricanes aren't a good defensive team, then what are they? Because we know that they've been good this year, but what they're known for the most is defensive hockey. So, yeah, that was crazy to say. I got to say this. I hit my play of the day, and I thank people that joined me on Tampa. That was a tough one. They're down 3-2 with 3.5 to go in the game, and they win the game 5-3, which was crazy. But then Carm, you and I both know it's never good to change your mind on something, and I did exactly that. I was going to play the over 5.5 in the Dallas game, and I said, the more I think about it, if one team's doing the scoring, it's going to be Dallas. So I changed my mind from the show. I gave out over 3.5 for Dallas, and they lose 4-3. That one was a little bit tough because the over easily hit, and I didn't hit my team total.
Yeah. And another one with Jake Ottinger, right? So I had the 2 games I had were both regulation bets because I don't lay the VIG. And they were like, I think -115, -110, -115. And Jake Ottinger just had a miserable game. He just, not many shots for Chicago, but they somehow found the back of the net in that one. So those things are going to happen. It is, I was like, I'm done with this year. Can we get to 2027? But with that said, Anaheim Ducks and the Minnesota Wild, Andrew, -130 on Minnesota. Anaheim +110 at home. Total sits here 6.5. I originally was looking at this total just because Anaheim's on a 10-1 overrun at home. But it is mainly the other teams doing a lot of the scoring. Anaheim's kind of contributing. I just think at 6.5, I can't take it because Minnesota, with their goaltending duo, can lock it down if they get a lead in this one. So I'm going to stay off the total. I'm kind of leaning Minnesota here. I think Minnesota is the right play here. You look at them, and they've been very consistent over their last 10, 15 or more games. They've been making a run up the NHL or up the Western Conference standings. I just think until I see something better from Anaheim and they start to turn it around, I just can't play on them. I can't play on them. So with that said, Minnesota Wild for me.
Yeah, I can't look past the last 10 games averaging 4.3 goals against the Anaheim Ducks. I can't get past that, Carm, because it's like a lot of teams say you can't always win games by scoring 4 or 5 goals. It's not going to always be the recipe for success. And I just look at this Anaheim Ducks team, and I think I remember telling you I had a guest on my show, on my Friday show on the pre-scout, and he has a press pass for the Anaheim Ducks. And he said that people don't realize how good Lucas Dostal can be, but more importantly, how important he is to the team. Carm, he had a little bit of a slide, and he's still a great goalie, but he had a little bit of a slide. My numbers indicate that, where is it here? Gustafsson posting a 943 save percentage last 3 starts against Dostal, struggling with below 820 save percentage last several starts. So when he dips, the Anaheim Ducks dip, their defensive structure is not looking very good. I think more money will come in on the Wild in this spot here. We've been talking a lot about at this point, and I told you I want to keep things simple, but I do think this sort of is keeping it simple. the Wild are a better team. And I think that if
Yeah.
we were betting this number, Carm, in October, this price is even higher on the Minnesota Wild. But I think that this is a perfect example of contender versus pretender. Am I exaggerating here? Or are you with me on that? I think that
No,
the Ducks are good, man, but this is a pretender versus contender matchup, I think.
yeah. Listen, I think their point total at the beginning of the year was mapped out at 84.5 points. And then they got off to that great start with their new coach, Joel Quenneville, and they were winning games. They were scoring goals. They were going up and down the ice. They're a fast team. But it's kind of like that regression to the mean. They were on pace for, at one point, like for 100-point season. You know that's not going to happen with them because the Western Conference is just that good. So you knew that this was going to happen at some point. Do they turn it around? They probably do, but to what point? Probably to the point where they're probably get on pace for an 84-point season or somewhere around there. It's just that I look at Minnesota and you look at their last 12 games, 9 wins, 1 regulation loss, 2 OT losses. The only game in which they've lost in regulation was to the Colorado Avalanche, who beat a lot of teams in regulation. Colorado's just they just seem head and shoulders above other teams. But you look at and we talk about like maybe a team had a soft schedule. No, you got the Wild going in and beating teams like Dallas, beating teams like Washington, the Edmonton Oilers. So they're beating good teams as well too. They're not going to look past the Ducks in this one. I can't see them looking past the Ducks in this one. I think when you're running good, you don't want to take a step backwards. You keep on winning, and you win the games you're supposed to win. And I think this is one that they're supposed to win.
Yeah, and I just think that Carm, like they relied too much on their goal scoring, this Ducks team, right? And like you look at the goaltending we're going to get from the Minnesota Wild, whether it's Gustafsson or whether it was Wallstedt, both those players just got named to the Olympics. They're going to represent their country at the Olympics, and they play on the same team in the NHL. Like Wallstedt has been fantastic, but Gustafsson has been fantastic as well. But look at this. The last 3 games, 9.43 save percentage. Last 3 games, 8.19 save percentage. And even on the year right now, I mean, it's not been as good for Dustel as it has been lately. So I think they rely a little bit too much on them. So, and diving deeper at some of the stats as well for some of the expected goals numbers, Minnesota has really been pouring it on. They've got a lot more depth. So I think, yeah, at first they missed a couple guys, and Marco Rossi, kind of someone that they could use. But let's not forget, Quinn Hughes is also an offensive defenseman. So he brings something to the table as well. And here's this one. The Wild, 19-1 in their last 20 versus the Anaheim Ducks. You got to love that. You have to love that stat. And Jonathan Davis was who I was referencing when I was talking about how Anaheim Ducks press pass, because Jonathan Davis was up there, and he was the one that told me how much Dustel is important to that team. So I'm happy that Jonathan's in the chat with us right now, because Jonathan, let me know what you think about this goalie matchup. But right now I'm seeing it clearly favors the Wild.
It's that is a wild stat, Andrew. Yeah, that's a dad joke.
Don't give me a Brian Leonard joke. That's a Brian Leonard joke.
Oh God, the Brian Leonard joke. Where's Brian Leonard when you need him? He's got to be in the chat. He's got to be up right now. It's funny because one of my friends, they're usually up late, and they're like, "Why are you online at like 3 a.m?" Because I'm sick. I don't feel good and stuff. And they're like, you're suffering day 1 of dry January. And yeah, I made it through day 1. But here's the thing is, I honestly don't, I'm the designated driver like 90% of the time. I don't drink, right? And at home, I very rarely drink because my wife doesn't, other than a shot of tequila here or there. But it's when I go with them and I drink like Michelob Ultras and stuff. But when I'm driving, I don't have a single drink at all because I'm the designated driver. So it's going to be easier to do a dry January for me at the very least. Andrew?
For me, it starts on Monday. Not
Starts
yet.
on Monday.
It starts on Monday. I'm going to a place tonight that I think I have to take you to when you come to Halifax. Ristorante Amano. It's going to be a good one. I got a few friends in town, so I'm going to channel my Inter Bianco and have some Italian food tonight.
Let's do it. Okay, and you're gonna have to have some seafood because I don't know anybody on the East Coast doesn't eat seafood, but
that's why I go to Italian restaurants. That's why
we'll cross that. We'll cross that bridge. I'm definitely not Irish, Jimmy. You got that right. Okay, Seattle at Vancouver. The Kraken with a win yesterday. They're so obviously a second of a back-to-back, taking on the Canucks. 159 on Vancouver, plus 131 on Seattle. Andrew, I get the whole back-to-back stuff. I really do. And I think it's an important thing to look at it at this point, like halfway through the season and onwards with this condensed schedule because of the upcoming Winter Olympics. But 159 on Vancouver seems just a little too high for me. Thoughts on this one?
I hope that Jonathan is still in the chat with us because I believe it was the Seattle Kraken that this applied for, but I don't think they're a very good back-to-back team, Carm. Here it is. Wow. You got to love when perfect timing takes place. Seattle 1-18 on second half of back-to-backs over 2+ seasons, scoring 2 or fewer in 17 of the 19 games. Shout out to Jonathan here. And Carm, I already liked them because the angle that I've been playing over the past week and a half, they're due. The angle I've been playing, though, has been doing very, very well, which is, again, the fading a team that won the previous game of back-to-back or backing them if they didn't. And I think that this is going to be a team in Seattle that's going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. It's not like they just won. They won pretty good. Like, they looked great. They got offensive production. They looked good in defense. Everything looked great for Seattle. And a lot of these situations in back-to-backs for them have kind of set up that way. Like, oh, man, Seattle looks great tonight. Nobody tell them that they're playing tomorrow. And don't you find it kind of funny, Carm, that, hey, money's coming in, but there's something to be said about the fact that this game, according to odds logic, opened up at -170. -170. So something is to be said about that a little bit here. So I'll tell you, I think that minus a half goal first period, Vancouver Canucks is the move. But this to me is the classic team total. Like, if there's ever a team total I like on the board today, I think it has to be Vancouver over 3.5. It does. And Turbo, he hops on and says, hey, look, it hasn't gotten much better. 1-4 back-to-back this season. Carm, don't give me the do factor, all right? I'm keeping it simple.
No, I know. I'm not kidding. And I don't want anyone to bet on do factors or zigzags and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there are things you do which are sort of personal preference ones that have worked in the past. And neither one of those I'll ever apply to a play. Just like the must win. You tell me a team is must win, I'm going to bet against them because these must wins don't come in. What I do like is I've said before is when a team is on a long win streak or a long losing streak. A long losing streak and you get a win, I usually want to come back with you because you've gotten that monkey off of your back and you now play a little looser, a little freer. You just hate when those L's just keep accumulating. And it's the same thing with long winning streaks. When a team has a long winning streak snapped, I want to play against them the next time out. And that was a profitable angle last year. So we'll see where it goes here. The funny thing, Andrew, is Grubauer was in goal yesterday, last night against the Nashville Predators. Has he found like the fountain of youth, or are they just showcasing him to move him at the trade deadline to a team that might need a goalie? Because he's on in years, but 3 straight wins where he's only allowed a goal per game. That's some pretty good. And his save percentage, it's not like he's not facing shots. Like having a quick look here against the Anaheim Ducks, they win 3-1. He stops 40 of 41 shots. Then he stops 32 of 33 against the Philadelphia Flyers in a 4-1 win. And then last night against Nashville, 24 of 25 in a 4-1 win. The guy is playing well. Or maybe is it the team in front of him is playing well? And that's the only thing that ever scares me about like some of these back-to-backs is sometimes the team starts playing so well defensively that that stat doesn't matter to them. I'm pretty sure that none of the guys in the dressing room are discussing the fact that they're 1-18 their last 19. We have to discuss it because it is a betting show, so we have to discuss that.
I think that he's just kind of been dealing with injuries and had so much to deal with that he's been good. But what he's been able to do is give more depth to the Kraken. Like, it is a good point that Decord is the guy now, 273 goals against on the year. Not too bad. So what do you think overall, Carm? We've been starting to see this a lot more on the season where a lot of times the number one is the guy that plays the second game these days. I remember, like, I think back-to-back angles used to be so much better to fade because it was the backup goalie. But now a lot of times they are having the number two guy play the first game. Obviously it's circumstantial, and you and I, we are situational guys. And for me, like, it's not like Seattle scraped by yesterday with their win. They looked real good in their win. I mean, we always say it takes two to tango with a total. They couldn't get over the total because the other team didn't help them get over the total. The overs should have gone 8-0, but their opponent didn't help the total at all.
No, they didn't. And Nashville's been scoring goals. So, and looking good. So that just lends to the fact that the Kraken did play very well. Guys, drop a comment in the comment section if you're watching this video a little later on, or if you're rewatching this video a little later on to see how we did. I try to get in there for at least 10 to 15 minutes a day and reply to any questions that you guys might have in the posted chat later on. So if you have any questions about weekend games, just drop them in that, not in the live chat, drop them in the other chat when this video is posted after the show, and I'll try and get to them at some point during the day and Saturday morning. Andrew, same game parlay, pod, and 6 and 60 still to go. I'm going to start with the 6 and 60 and then give me a break with your same game parlay before we finish off with a pod and send it home. What do you think?
That sounds good to me. Idea? I got to just say this. I don't know if it was Terry Edelman or a couple of the boys over at the Ice Guys or who it was that started this, but some people in this hockey betting community are saying that I have a look-alike with Logan Stanley. I don't know how much I like that look-alike comparison. And some of the boys are saying, you
have a side-by-side?
What do you say?
You need a side-by-side.
No. I don't want it. I don't want it. But a couple people are saying, nice haircut, nice haircut. You got to get a haircut like Logan Stanley. Logan Stanley does not have a good haircut. So I don't want to be compared to that guy. But maybe our faces look a little bit similar. But that's like saying Carm looks like Jim Montgomery. Come on. We can't be doing that to Carm.
God, yeah.
Come on.
I'm going to put that side by side there. That one... When I did the happy New Year's cartoon one, I had originally put all five guys, the actual pictures from WagerTalk profiles, and it made Andrew look bloated on one side, like he looked like Jake Paul to a post fight with the bloated cheekbones or whatever, and then I looked on the other side like Jim Montgomery. I'm like, that doesn't even look like me. So I'm just like, okay, Chat GPT, cartoon this picture. Let's turn this all into cartoons and be done with it. I'm perfectly fine with looking like a cartoon figure. But with that said, Andrew, let's get to the 6 and 60. Guys, I even went to try and change things up. I even went with better graphics. So I hope you guys like this one. This is going to make it easier for you guys to write this down because we're going to do a side-by-side while I go through the 6 and 60. So are you ready, Andrew? And away we go. 6 and 60. Detroit at Pittsburgh. I'm taking the Wings money line in this one. Pittsburgh won on Thursday between these two in OT. Wings flipped the script in this one. Edmonton and Philly. Taking Edmonton in regulation. Oilers off a bad loss at home to the Bruins. Good bounce back spot here against Philadelphia. San Jose and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay money line. They've won 6 straight games. They're 2-0 on this road trip. I'm not getting in front of that train. St. Louis and Montreal. Montreal money line. A good scheduling spot for Montreal as St. Louis plays the Vegas Golden Knights on Friday afternoon. So we'll take Montreal money line in that one. Islanders and the Leafs. I'm going to take Toronto money line. Leafs are on a good 4-0-1 run, and more injuries for the Islanders. Bo Horvath injured on Thursday night. Washington and Chicago. I'm going to take under 6 in this one. Hawks did surprise in their last game, but they're only scoring 2.2 goals per game on the road. Their last 10. That is your 6 and 60.
Well done. Well done. Carm, you know I like it when you're picking my Montreal Canadiens, so I'm always going to be happy about that.
Yep. They hurt me yesterday. They hurt me bad.
That's why you had to come back to them. You couldn't stay away.
Yes. So there you go, 6 and 60. I'm loving that. See?
You know what the
5
kids
and
are
1. Oh, David, God bless
days?
you, man. 5 and 1. I would take a 5 and 1, 6 and 60 day. So
you know what the kids are calling that these days, though, Carm? That's called AI slop. AI slop.
Yes.
But it actually looks good. It turned out pretty well.
It's what they do. Whatever. You know what I mean? It's I'm trying to make it easier for everyone who's in the live chat to basically look at the games, write them down real quick. And if they agree with any of the plays, these are early looks. If you agree with the play, you play it. If you don't agree with the play, you either bet against it or you pass.
Yeah.
So
everyone's showing you love. Everyone's showing you love. 5 and 1, 6 and 60, he says. And he says, Carm, I got to give you one loss. Got to give you one. That's all right. 5 and 1, you'll take that.
I'll take it. Andrew, give us a same game parlay.
All right, Carm. I decided to get one for the Winter Classic here today. So this is simple here. We've got a Florida Panthers team that actually gives up quite a few shots on goal to defensemen. Actually, both teams don't do well against defensemen. So I threw in Adam Fox to get 2+ shots on goal for the New York Rangers. We've got Eetu Luostarinen, who's been up there on the top line for the Florida Panthers, doing very, very well for them. He's plus 110, so it's a nice point scorer there. And we got the Florida Panthers on the money line. These three together take us to plus 375. Guys, shop around, get the best price you possibly can. And if you want to make it an all Florida parlay, you can throw in a guy like Seth Jones or Aaron Ekblad. Everything that I saw said to me that defensemen are the way to go in this matchup. So that's what I'll take here. I think it's going to be a good one. We got 3 picks for 375. It's not too bad. The kid, come on, the kid. I'm not a negative person. I promise you I'm not a negative person. I'm just messing around. But I'm more so just saying, I don't know if Logan Stanley is my guy there. Marco says, yeah, he's 6'7". I do wish I was 6'7". That wouldn't be bad. I always want to be taller. Always want to be taller. But plus 375, guys. Panthers, Luostarinen. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be single betting that Luostarinen prop. I do like him because it's interesting, Carm. Like, so you've got the top line set for today is Reinhart, Lundell, and Luostarinen. You're getting plus 110 on a top line guy playing with some top players, getting that power play minutes. I like that quite a bit. So plus 110, plus 375 overall. Gonna be pretty good. And reminder, guys, Carm will be joining me on the pre-scout, breaking down every game for Saturday. We'll have some notes and a few tidbits, couple thoughts. We'll also look at a few props for the Saturday board, but it is a bit difficult when we're talking on Friday to go over props for a Saturday slate. You guys can understand how that's gonna be a little bit difficult. So, all right, Carm, you've got one more bet for us before we head out. What do you have for us?
All right. We need to get back on the winning side of the pod play. It was a really good run until it ended yesterday with a plus money play. But we're going back to one of the games we discussed earlier, and that's the Minnesota game. Minnesota lane 130 as the pod play. They're playing extremely well right now. Only one regulation loss across their last 11 games. As I mentioned, that was to the Colorado Avalanche. It should be Gustafsson in goal tonight. And he is 6-0-1 his last 7 starts. That one loss was an overtime loss to the Nashville Predators. He's only allowed 3 goals and that was in that game. Other games 2-2, shutout 2-2, and 1, playing extremely well in goal, as are both the goalies for Minnesota. Until I see this Anaheim team turn it around, I am going to try and fade them. Give me the Minnesota Wild -130 tonight as your pod play.
I like it, Carmen. Just remember, if the Wild break their streak tonight, it's all your fault. So no pressure, no pressure there.
It possibly is. It really is. I have a guy in our group. I'm telling you, like we call him like the mush, because what he does, he's got like so many different jerseys. He's a Jets fan, so right off the bat, when you're a New York Jets fan, who becomes a Jets fan? Who says, I want to be a Jets fan when I grow up? I'm not sure. But with that said, he put on during the playoffs, he put on, I think one year he put on to support some of the other guys in the chat who are Niners fans. He put on a Niners jersey. All of their quarterbacks got injured. They had nobody left. I think that was the one where Christian McCaffrey was playing in the quarterback spot. He puts on a jersey of a team, and that team is going to lose. Maybe we can turn it into like a mush segment, not have him on.
You never want to be that guy. You never want to be that guy. But there's a reason why when I buy jerseys, I don't often buy one with the last name on it. Yeah. I just buy the jersey. I don't buy the last name very much. That way it can never hurt me if I just buy the last name or without a last name.
That's it. I don't have a lot of ones with names on them as well too. I have a Sabres one, and you know who it has on the back? Jack Eichel.
Jack Eichel.
Yeah. Jack Eichel.
You learn your
Bills Fitzpatrick. Most of my hockey stuff, the signed ones, anything that I had autographed, most of them. When some of my friends who have kids in junior hockey or kids leagues or what have you, when they have like these parties to raise money, I should donate the jersey. I get it framed, I give it to them, and they put it up for auction to raise some money for the kids and stuff like that. So I'm not going to hang them on my wall like the Prez. You walk in and he's got this fantastic room with all the jerseys and stuff on it. I'm not that much of a fanboy. You know who I'm a fan of? The team I have money on. That is it. That is who I am a fan of.
I think Prez hangs him on the wall, Carm, because none of the jerseys fit him, so he can't wear them.
That's it. By the way, I've gained 7 pounds in the last week, guys. There's a problem. Yes, I went from 234 to 241. And maybe that's why I'm sick. My body's saying, yo, dude, slow it down. It was a lot of food. I ate a lot of food.
It's the beer for me. If I stop the beer, I'll lose. It's like always the holidays with the beer and the snacks and stuff. Starting Monday, Carm. Diet starts Monday. No drinking I can't go into the weekend with a diet. It starts Monday. That's the famous last words. It starts Monday.
No, that's how you build the willpower of doing that. You go into the weekend and say, if I can get through this weekend, I can get through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So there you go.
Hey, last year I did like 2 months. I did January and February. So not bad. All right, Carm. A lot of people have been taking advantage of this for me and you. I got to get your link on there as well. But the code is new25. New25. You can take 25% off any package that we have. That could be a 7-day, 30-day, 90-day. It could be a soccer package, hockey package, basketball package, football package, whatever it is. Just remember, guys, if you're buying anything more than a daily package today, make sure you use the promo code NEW25. NEW25. And let's keep rolling, Carm. You know, for me, it's, I believe, a 7-2 run in the NHL. We'll try and keep it going. I have at least 2 plays going today into the Saturday board. We got World Junior plays getting tweeted out all the time. And, of course, we've got college stuff going on. So look forward to hopefully a great, great weekend. Guys, do us a favor. Hit the like button. Let's try and get over 300 on this video. It really does help us out. You guys know me and Carm aren't the type of people that like to ask for likes and comments and all this stuff, but it really does support the channel. So if you guys support our show, it makes us look good, flat out. It'll help us out here on PuckTime, and it will tell the guys at the head office that we're doing a good job on the show. So appreciate it if you guys can do that. Carm, close it out for us, man. What do you have going?
Yeah, NHL. You guys pretty much know what I like tonight. They're probably just going to be client plays, which is obviously the pod play, and I'm going to stay off of that Seattle game. I just don't think it's the right one to be betting right now. Small lean on the under in the Florida and Rangers game. We'll see how that ice is for these winter classics. I remember Colorado playing the Vegas Golden Knights, and everyone thought it was going to be a dead over, and it was like 3-0, I think was the final score in that game. When that ice frosts over and they got a lot of snow and they got to shovel it in between commercials, it's a problem. We'll see what happens there tonight. Hopefully it's a good game. But with that said, no soccer for me today, but I will have the plays up for this weekend. The ice was pretty bad and pretty slow. Well, there you go. There's some breaking news from Andrew there. 2 plays up in college football. I just have to create the package. It'll be up in about 2 or 3 minutes. A winner yesterday with Indiana, and we're on a very good run. So I think we're now 12-4-1 with bowl and playoff games thus far. So I'm going to try and keep that run going with a couple bowl winners today, and then the weekend ones as well too. So 3-day all access. Use the 25% off coupon and save some money. I will have a 5% play up on the weekend. With that said, for myself, Andrew McInnis, the Prez, this is Puck Time, guys. Have a fantastic and safe weekend, and we will see you on Monday.